It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
This video is going to be a hybrid of my experience at the Pentathlon, also known as the Pent, along with my most recent shot session. Participating in the Pent has really motivated me to start and continue making content on this channel. In case it's not obvious, the Pentathlon is a meet where you throw all 5 events: hammer, disc, shot, weight, and even jav. Even with having to throw jav, the Pent is the reason that I actually picked up my last video after not working on it for 2 months. Some would say it rekindled my flame. Besides that, it made me realize why I like throwing. You can't replicate the feeling of finally putting together a good throw, or even the feeling you get from competing against others or trying to hit fake marks you give yourself. Now without further ado, let's get to the Pent. Now for you sickos out there, here's a little javelin. I'm making no other comments on it. This is all you get. Overall, not a terrible performance. That one, not good. But only practicing shot about 2 times leading up to this. Not terrible. I can't believe my coach actually called me on a foul here. I've seen far worse for far less. It is what it is. It's my second throw. My entry position probably a little more open than I want to be. Want to be a little more forward here in my wheel and just back more in the power. But other than that, I didn't think my positions with my feet were that terrible. This is my last throw. Pretty much same things. The power position, I think I was back a little more, and that's why it ended up going a little better. I don't actually know if I should have got called for a foul there, but I didn't, so it is what it is. I'm not really sure which of my throws was my best throw, just like most of the events actually today, but I'm pretty sure it was the last one for most except javelin, and who cares about jav. So we're just going to analyze the last weight throw here. The starting position, I really don't think it's that bad considering I haven't thrown for a while. Pretty neutral. Turning to 90 there, I did not turn my feet at all. That right foot needs to get going. This first catch is very late. Did not really like that. Turned through pretty good there, I thought. Good place to maybe have my foot in the air, but it was pretty fast getting it around. Not a bad second turn for catch, and then I just lose it after this, and this is not where you want to be. I lost my connection and just let go of it. Overall, it wasn't a terrible throw, but there's a lot I want to work on, staying lower, being more level with the weight. That parabola just really gets out of whack. I don't really know how much I have to say about hammer. Foul. I fouled the first 2. I know that for sure. I think they gave me a mark on all of them, but my foot went right out of the back on all of them. Except for the last one, that was an actual mark, and it was my best throw. I know that for a fact because you can definitely tell from how all these look. I mean, honestly, not as terrible as I thought it would have went after not throwing for a while, but it's kind of sad to have gone back so far after getting so close to hitting 50 meters at the end of last season, so it is what it is. I mean, really for me, especially through the last season, I kind of worked on my entry and trying to be consistent with it. And I definitely still have that feeling of like a nice connected entry, catching it early in the back, but just turning my feet together and like picking my feet up at the right time, like it's just not there. I didn't turn my right at all there. I kind of get it going after one. I'm not too terribly disconnected with the hammer, but it could be better. And that parabola is just as terrible as it always was. It could always be worse, but yeah, it could be a lot better. discus similarly to javelin. I don't have a lot to say about, especially today. This was terrible. I mean, in college, I threw 37.93, and supposedly, according to one of my coaches, I hit 40 at a meet, but I don't believe it. And we were a long ways away from that mark today. So this is my first practice after the pent. I think it might have been that weekend or the weekend after. These are just a few drills that I like to do before I get into shot put sometimes. Just a little step through, make sure I'm turning that right foot through. I learned this one in college. Never did this before. Just a little warm up of the arm, making sure I'm trying to actually push the shot and release correctly. And sometimes I don't even do it right in this drill. And especially after I haven't done it for a long time, it's hard to get into it. But you just kind of, the first variations, you're just standing there and you push it. The second one is like you get a little wind up with your arm, you get a little block into it. Then the third one, you take a little step back, like I am there, where you're a little offset, you can get a little more power into it. Then you go into your power throws. Or, like I'm doing here, you can work on trying to turn that right foot, making sure you're getting that turn before you throw. And even with doing all that, sometimes I don't get my foot turning before I throw, but it's really good to try to get that feeling going in my head at least. This is another drill I sometimes do, is just a little step through, a little slippy whippy there. I really don't know what happened because the circle was not slippery, but yeah, just a little step through, wheel, and just turning through, making sure that right foot's turning. Do a little repeater action here. And then into the finish. Just trying to make sure I'm turning. Even in that finish, I didn't really have level shoulders. I really got to work on that. Kind of slipped away from me. This is just another little wheel repeater. I think it's 3 times into a finish. 2. And 3 into finish. At this point, I kind of got into doing some wheels. Really just trying to pause and turn through. Another thing I know I worked on during this session was trying to fix that arm path of my block arm. I normally come up really high with it. And when I think level, it normally helps. I think not the next one, but the one or two after that, you can really kind of tell the difference. And I think I even made a comment after I did it that it felt better. I tried to stay nice and low and level with that arm, and the whole wheel felt good. I think it was probably one of my farthest wheels I've had in a while, which is including what I did in college, so that's pretty good. Now for these fulls, my camera actually started dying because it was a little chilly out and my battery couldn't handle it, so we only get a few, which is still enough. The first ones I wasn't really feeling it, but definitely towards the end, this one and the next one, I definitely started feeling my positions and feeling myself putting the throw together. Sadly, my last 3 throws, which were probably some of my best throws in a while, I didn't get them recorded, but we got these, which I think were like a few before, and honestly, I'm not too disappointed with how they look. It could definitely be better, but I'm happy with how it is, especially considering where I've been and where I'm at. This last one especially, I like my aggressiveness on the drive and the finish. I mean, it's a foul, but, it's not too bad. Taking a look at this throw a little closer and slowing it down, I mean, really, there's not much to complain about here. I mean, I am leaning into the middle of the circle a little bit, couldn't get over my left, but not that bad. Especially considering this position I get into, I really like that drive into the middle. Right here, I really want to be facing forward more, probably driving pretty much just straight out into the sector. That's something I always worked on in college. We had an American flag, and it was always drive at the American flag, and it always helped me. This position right here, I'd like to keep my arm up a little higher because then I tend to rip it up high. If it's pretty level to begin with, it stays level, but not bad overall. Turning through, there's a lot of weight and a lot of motion going forward here, and that's why it's 100% a foul, but overall I'm not too disappointed in the throw. I'll play it again 3 more times for anyone that's curious to see it again. But I just want to thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.